Start the podcast now.
Pax, we're starting, okay?
What tempo are we at?
I think it's 120.
Okay,
Just the magic
perfect.
tempo.
Yeah.
That'll do it.
That was good.
My hands hurt.
This is going to be the one. It's a lot of pressure.
It's a different mug.
No, it's
Oh,
fine.
yeah.
Supporting local.
It matches your shirt. With your Amoeba Music shirt.
Good morning, good afternoon, good night, wherever you are in time and space. You are right now listening to another episode of This Podcast Is Not For You. My name is Peyton. And to my right, doing the worm.
My name is Jake.
And to my left,
My name is
in
Wes.
the glasses and hat. He's in a disguise right now.
My name is Wes.
That's Wes. We are doing another episode. Welcome back. Great to hear you and see you. And
Feel you.
This is the first time. This is a first morning episode we've done. Is it the first time we recorded in the morning?
No.
Is it not?
No, we recorded in the loft in the morning at one point.
You're right.
But
We
I don't
did do that.
remember what it was. But I remember we were like, oh, good morning.
So if we're
Was it a
off our
bonus
game
ep
a little
too?
bit,
Could be.
or
Could be.
our candor or banter is not quite on,
Also,
it's because Wes is asleep.
Yeah. Also, a first reviewing a movie not directly after we saw it.
True. We watched it last night.
Had a whole
We're getting old.
14 hours to
Stew.
stew.
Yeah.
That's right, Wes. This is a movie review episode, and it is about Bullet Train. Brad Pitt.
Bradley Pitt.
Other actors.
You want me
A
to-
director. Go ahead. Give
Okay.
me the
David
stats.
Leitch directed it. He
John Wick.
he is uncredited as the director of John Wick. I think he sort of co-directed it.
He's uncredited as the director. So who's...
There's another
So
director.
how do you know that?
John
There's
Wick
another
directed it.
because on IMDb it says director uncredited.
But he's credited,
But
it sounds like.
it's weird. It's probably like a Directors Guild thing. Like he wasn't able to co-direct because there's rules about co-directing. It's weird. Anyways, he used to be a stuntman, and he was Brad Pitt's stuntman on Fight Club, and that's how they know each other. He was his stunt double for a
Wow.
lot of years. He directed Deadpool 2. That's probably his most recognizable film.
Not the first one.
Not the first one.
Okay.
Right, not Deadpool as well.
He's uncredited.
He
From
directed
the first one.
Deadpool. Oh,
Number
okay.
2.
Full credit on 2.
Half credit.
Uncredited.
Partial
Full
credit.
point, half point.
Also starring Aaron Taylor Johnson,
Yep.
Brian Henry Tyree.
Tyree Oh, no.
I thought it was Henry Tyree. Steph and I were looking at it last night.
Okay.
Dude, everyone has 3 names.
Channing
Tatum.
Billings Tatum. I don't know his name.
Billings would be great if
Yeah.
that's him.
He's not starring in it, but he's there. Joey King. Bad Bunny? Is that the
Yes.
dude's name?
Yeah. Yep.
Who I had never heard of. But
Oh,
apparently
really?
he's
That's-
very famous.
Yeah.
That's what I told Wes, because he's like, it's weird that they cast...
I didn't know that was him.
Well, never mind.
We'll get there.
yeah, we'll
yes.
get there.
No spoilers, obviously, yet.
Also,
Ryan Reynolds for a second.
Logan Lerman.
Yep. Sandra Bullock, right?
Sandra Bullock.
Yeah.
Are we spoiling Ryan Reynolds and Channing Tatum? Is that a spoiler?
I don't know.
Who cares?
Our surprise is different than spoilers.
It has nothing to do with the plot.
There's an episode right there.
Oh.
That's a good point.
If you want to listen to that episode, go ahead and click the thumbnail on my face right now. Now this episode is a choose your own adventure.
Oh boy, now
If
I
you
got to
would
put a
like to-
fake thumbnail
If
over
you
your
would like
face.
to hear that episode,
And we have to record that episode.
yeah. So not now, but come back to this episode in a couple weeks or something. Click my face,
We won't at all let you know when it's up.
and we're
You just have
definitely
to keep
not
clicking
going
on
to
the
do it
episode.
either. So
Right,
Yeah.
for sure. Well, let's do what we always do. Spoiler-free review section. Let's give
plot. Spoiler-free plot. How about?
Okay.
Do you want to We can switch the mic.
We just hadn't said what it's about at all.
Yeah, you're right. Jake, do you want to, since Wes kind of gave some backstory on
Yes,
said people, you want to
there
give
is
the
a
plot?
train, and there's someone on it.
Where's it at?
Tokyo.
There we go. Perfect. I think that's, yeah.
That's right.
That's
Gotta
right.
be.
That's right.
And Brad Pitt is working through some personal growth type stuff at the beginning of the film, and he's ready to take jobs again, and he takes a quick snatch and grab from his handler, and chaos ensues.
Mhm.
It's all sort of a bottle movie, right? It's all on the train, and there are other agents, and there's like sort of a mystery going on, and just general plot. That's kind of the spoiler-free version of the plot. I feel like they got to figure out
What's going down?
what's going down, if he can get the case off the train, and which is what he's trying to snatch and grab, I guess. So, yeah.
Spoiler-free plot. What did we think, guys, of Bullet Train?
If I could describe the movie in one word,
Oh.
it'd be obnoxious. I thought there were things about it that were kind of fun, some funny bits, but the movie thought it was very cool and thought it was hilarious. And you could kind of tell,
Sure.
as opposed to just being like genuine, it was trying really hard. The section that I think epitomizes what felt obnoxious to me, it's not a spoiler, it's near the beginning of the movie. It's the flashback where two characters are debating how many people they killed to get to where they're at. One says 16, one says 17. And in a flashback, you see them killing all of those people and then like turning to camera and counting. That section, I was like, this is really obnoxious and kind of it felt like smug. Hey, did you guys ever see Smokin' Aces?
Yeah.
It reminded me a little bit of Smokin' Aces, where the movie thought it was really freaking cool. Like the people making it were like, this movie's freaking awesome, as opposed to just like making a movie and that's the plot. It's like a slightly funnier version of a Smokin' Aces style movie, way more over the top and absurd. But I thought there were some interesting character things going on that were kind of wasted on the movie.
Yeah.
Like, I really liked Brian Henry Tyree's character and the little
Tyree Henry.
whichever you prefer.
Just call him Henry.
The character trait that they gave him I thought was really interesting and well done throughout the movie. And then I thought Brad Pitt was good. I thought that was an interesting idea, like an assassin hitman kind of guy that's like,
He's trying so hard.
That's
he
probably
already said he's going through personal growth stuff. He's like trying to better himself. Oh my
Yes,
god.
he is trying to better himself. Yes.
Yeah. And I
We
thought
just
that,
never know what you're gonna say.
Yeah,
I
oh my
guess.
God.
Okay, so
Somebody get the bleep button ready for this guy.
I thought that was interesting. So I thought there was some interesting character stuff in a otherwise kind of like, I thought the action was underwhelming. For an action movie, I thought the action was okay. It wasn't as like crazy as John Wick or anything like that. So,
just in general.
Yeah. Not as... It was stupid, but like intentionally stupid at times. But I feel like they could have taken themselves slightly less seriously at points. And like the stylistic... It felt like a movie from like 10 years ago. Like that kind of style is kind of out. Where like there's character names that pop on the screen and stuff like that. That's kind of done. But they're just doing it again. Like I don't know. Yeah, those are my general thoughts.
Jacob.
I thought it was fun. I thought it was a good time. I do think that some of the character stuff was really interesting, especially in a movie like that, which we can elaborate more on in the spoiler section. Yeah, I thought it got off to a little bit of a rocky start. I didn't think a lot of the humor in the first 20,
yeah,
30 minutes was landing
Yeah.
for whatever reason. But I think once, maybe it took familiarity with the characters, the tone of the movie. I don't know what it was, but it felt like about 30-minute mark where it was like, oh, okay, what they're trying to do is funny now, all of a sudden for me. But yeah, I thought it was fun. I thought the action sequences were pretty cool. I thought that for the most part, they were comprehensible. They don't hide a lot of it in like close zooms and blurs and stuff like that. I thought a lot of the action sequences were interesting, at least in terms of like props used or the way that they shot it. Or I thought the quick pulls from car to car and then the camera staying in the same spot but the train moving and then just zooming back into like the car, that I thought that was really cool. There's some cool stuff like that. But I mean, like I said, if the bar is the subscription model, absolutely worth 2 hours. I feel like. But yeah.
Yeah, I thought it was so. I thought I agree. I think early on it wasn't it became more funny. I think it would, for what it was going for, which is like it was trying to be very clever. That's the word that kept coming to me, is like it wants to be really clever and funny. And I don't think it was probably 50%. Like 50% of the time it was 50% of the time it wasn't, or it was like,
while still trying to be.
I don't know if they were going for like lower common denominator funny at certain points, where it's like it's like lower brow kind of comedy at certain points, which is fine. But it's treating itself like it's supposed to be very clever. I liked the character stuff. I think the characters were the best part. And I think Brad Pitt's character was probably the best part. It felt like it could have been... It's got that like... And I don't know how to describe it other than what Wes was saying, because I agree with a lot of what you were saying about it thinks it's cool. It's kind of a Tarantino kind of thing, like
kind of a grindhousey sort of feel.
Yeah, it's very, and that probably is just the Japanese influence, because there's a lot of Japanese influence on Tarantino. So I think, and you can definitely tell it's Japanese, like especially with like the gore, because it's over the top and it's cartoony, and that's kind of like a Japanese thing right now. Like Japanese culture stuff is very, how do you describe it? Things that are like not things that are adult made adolescent feeling is a very like in things that are Japanese infused. That's what I've seen.
Yeah. Racist. What was that? Was that a cross?
It was the thing. Yeah, I thought it was okay. I thought it was fun at times. I think it was worth 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't necessarily watch it again, but that's okay.
I think part of the issue is like, I think too many characters were trying to be funny. Like everyone was trying to be funny.
That's true.
Even like the wizened old
guy.
Japanese guy and the bad guy were quipping, which is it has a similar tone to Deadpool, where it feels improvisational at a lot of times, and I don't feel like it was always the right tone for this movie. I think
it would have been more beneficial if Brad Pitt's character was more unique in that way, where he's like his character, and the rest of and maybe one other character, I don't know, but the rest of the characters are more serious and like real world.
Yeah, because that's the interesting concept, is him and a character like his going into this situation.
In the job that he has.
Yeah. But
Yeah, I'll say I had absolute trailer fatigue. Very similar to The Accountant. It was the only two where I can recently remember just being like, 57 trailer shows ago, I probably would have been interested in this movie. But at this point, I'm not. Like, it's just like, dude,
they did market the crap out of it.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, going in, I was like, whatever happens, whatever. But I walked out pleasantly
Did it live
surprised.
up to the expectations of the person that took our ticket?
No. Yeah, the guy that took our ticket was like fantastic. Saw it last night.
Did you ask him? Did you like walk in? You're like, we're seeing Bullet Train.
I think so. I said, we're seeing Bullet Train. 2 tickets on the Bullet Train or something. I don't remember. He's like, saw it yesterday. Fantastic. And I was like, oh my gosh. And I can't wait to see how wrong or right this ticket taker is.
Oh, wait. It was a... Okay.
Move on.
This ticket taker that said
There
that,
you go.
You know.
Yeah, you're right.
We don't need to get into it.
So yeah, it was
Totally.
it was a fun experience overall, for sure.
Yeah. I think it just could have used some slight tone changes at points in time.
Let's get into those tone changes. Let's talk about spoilers.
Spoilers. If you
Spoiler
are on
plot.
your way home from the theater, go ahead and keep listening. And if you're on your way to the theater,
Spoilers.
about to watch it,
Spoilers.
pause.
Spoiler plot. Brad Pitt is... I don't think he's a hitman because
No.
he talks about how he just does smash and grab jobs. But he's some type of like...
Isn't he complaining about doing a smash and grab or no?
No.
He's just complaining about filling in.
for
He's-
Carver.
Okay.
Yeah, because Carver's a jerk. So he's filling in for somebody on this smash and grab job on this bullet train in...
These are all underworld
Terms.
people
Yeah.
that are doing things that are a little shady.
Yeah. He gets on the train to grab this case, and then we meet Lemon and Tangerine, which is Aaron Taylor Johnson and Brian.
Nice.
And
Can't mess that up.
they are there with the case.
He's on a first name basis with Brian.
They have the case, and they have this gangster's son, played by Logan Lerman. And
played.
yeah.
What else is he in?
Logan Lerman. Perks of Being a Wallflower.
Okay. Yeah.
Whoa.
Percy Jackson.
Oh, yeah.
Wow.
Holy cow.
Just nice.
Yeah.
Wow.
And he's in it for like 5 minutes, and then he plays a dead body the rest of the time.
He's basically Post Malone in this movie, so.
Yeah.
So they're supposed to deliver this case and this guy's son to
The White Death.
the White Death, who's
Crime underworld leader of
Yeah.
Japan.
There's also
In Japan.
a Japanese man whose son was pushed off a roof and not killed, but severely injured, and he's on the train to try and kill the person that did this. So there's a handful, I think there's like 5 of these people on this train, and you slowly come to realize they've all been hired to get this case. And conflict ensues, and people get killed, and you find out more about the White Death and his backstory, and the Japanese man's father, who used to be also in the crime world and all of this stuff. But they all come into conflict over this case, and Brad Pitt's character is like, he keeps saying that he's bad luck. Like every job he goes on, people end up dead, even if he's not trying to kill them. And then he's been going through therapy and like trying to talk, and he's wanting to put peace out into the world and like all of this stuff. So that's the most interesting part, I think, is like
The new agey.
yeah, he's like trying to be like Zen and all of this stuff, and then all of this stuff starts happening on the train, and he's like, I want to get off this and go to like a Zen garden and just like relax. Do you
process.
He's
he
like,
uses that term a lot.
you can have the case. I don't want it. Just let me off the train. And then the interesting thing that we mentioned about Brian's character is
Love that.
he's obsessed with Thomas the Tank Engine, and he claims to know everything about people that he's learned about people through Thomas the Tank Engine. And
Thomas. Brian and Thomas, basically.
what?
Just call him Thomas. First name. First name only.
Oh, sorry. Should I just call everybody by their first
Yeah,
name? Okay.
yeah.
So
So Brad, like,
he categorizes people by characters from Thomas.
Right.
And I thought that, and he's a really good read of people because of this. And I thought that was also like the really interesting character thing going on. Like those two characters had some good stuff going on, but a lot of action, a lot of people die. It goes nuts.
I thought while watching it, it played like an Agatha Christie action movie. Is sort of what it felt like to me.
Sort of
a lot of
little bit.
characters, archetype.
yeah,
like,
and
this
then-
is the person.
And then you kind of go back and you see this is the story of this character that
Yeah.
led them to this moment.
And I
you
was
know,
going to say, I think I was going to mention it before. That's essentially the end of the movie is what you're talking about, where it's like it ties everyone together.
the thread of everyone leading.
I think
to,
it could have been a little bit more strongly strung together, because there's a couple where it's like, oh, that's why they're on the train. That's why they're on the train. I think it just could have hit a little harder or a little bit more, because Agatha Christie movies are like, or stories are like, whoa,
Yeah,
you
right,
know, that it
very
could have had
tight.
a little bit more of
Yeah.
like a whoa, this is how everything's connected.
Yeah,
But I agree.
Yeah, that's
that
what
was
it-
a cool moment.
that's what it felt like to me.
Yeah.
But
So the reason that they're all connected is the White Death's wife was killed in a car accident, and basically the White Death assassinated by Ryan Reynolds,
yes,
who
And-
Brad Pitt is filling in for.
And all of these
So Brad
characters
Pitt's there
that
by
are
accident.
on the train
Yeah,
had something to do with the circumstances that killed his wife,
yeah,
essentially.
pretty much. Wait, why was Bad Bunny's character on the train? What did he have
He-
to do with the wife's?
the Hornet Zazie Beats,
Mhm.
right? She poisoned everyone at his wedding,
Yeah.
and he knew she was going to be there.
So he was not put on there by the White Death.
Don't know.
Because Lemon and Tangerine had
Right.
killed a bunch of people that that worked for
Bolivia.
the White Death. So the White Death was away dealing with that. Brad Pitt's filling in for Carver, who's the one that drove a car into his wife. The poisoner.
I don't think he did,
killed the
because
surgeon.
the only thing that he did was give people buy contracts, and the wolf didn't have a contract to kill anybody or to smash and grab. I think the White Death was only involved in the contracts, buying all the.
Yeah, the poisoner was there because she killed the surgeon that was supposed to help. And then Joey King's character is White Death's daughter, who wants to kill him. But that's really...
Which is a great symbol. It's a very great symbolism for that section of the movie, because it's pointless. The wolf section is pointless. Do you get like, I don't know how long it is, 5 minutes,
Not
maybe
very
more
long. Yeah.
Well, that
Or are you
whole,
talking about the flashback?
yeah, the flashback is
It's
probably
like
5 minutes,
Yeah,
Yeah.
between 5 and 10 minutes.
and then he just dies in the next scene.
I think it's because the wedding connects a couple other characters.
Yeah,
Because Brad's there, Zazzie's there,
Right.
the wolf's there, and then who else is there?
I just mean they focus on that character.
Yeah.
It's not just the wedding; it's like all the stuff that he does to become
Yeah, it's the
a right hand
the
to the
bed tilt type stuff.
yeah.
And then to a different scene.
Yeah.
And then,
It's just too long. It should have been just shorter than that.
And then he just dies
Yeah.
in the first scene. Um,
I think I'm okay with that. I liked that it. I think I liked that it felt like anyone could die. I think that was
yeah.
cool with me. But it is weird.
The one thing I will say about the movie is they set up and paid off everything. Nothing really came out of nowhere.
Sure.
With maybe the exception of everyone being connected to the White Death, but you kind of got that partway through that everyone's probably been hired by
clearly
this
a
guy.
setup.
Yeah,
Even the water bottle got a whole payoff.
That's true.
That was, I was on board for that one.
I was
like,
too. Yeah, the way they shot it was really visually interesting.
POV, like GoPro camera.
I would also describe this movie as like, it was trying to be quirky in a similar way to like Everything Everywhere was.
I got feels from that too.
But I don't think they pulled it off as well.
Yeah.
It didn't feel as like genuine. It felt a little bit more like, look at how weird we're being.
This would be crazy. Yeah.
Like,
That's what I kind
guys,
of.
what if we follow the water bottle's
Yeah.
backstory?
Yeah.
Dude, that's hilarious. Like, I can hear that pitch.
Whereas everything was super intentional in Everything Everywhere. I think that's what I was trying to say is like it's going for super clever, but especially after watching Everything Everywhere, it's you have to go all the way if you want to like.
Which, if you don't know what we're talking about, check out our YouTube review of Everything Everywhere All at Once. It's our most viewed video of all time. So thanks.
Should be coming back to theaters pretty soon. So
Our
check it out.
review is coming back to theaters soon.
They're
there
gonna
were
show it
some
right before
moments-
the movie.
There were some moments where the dialogue like kind of fell flat for me. Like, just not everyone needs to be quippy, and so like there was that scene where
Not a lot of dynamics.
The snake like slithers by, and the Joey King character goes, "Was that a snake?" And I was like, "What? Is that supposed to be funny? Like, what line is that?" Like, it's
That's
just people reacting to the weirdness in the movie was too much at times. That was what made it feel like the movie was trying to say, look at how fun we are. Look at how crazy we're being.
Even our characters think it's weird and quirky.
Like the pinnacle of it was near the end, the old Japanese guy is going to tell Brad Pitt a story. And the first joke here worked great.
I'm good.
He goes, "I'm going to tell you a story," and Brad Pitt goes, "Nah, I'm good."
it's really
It was
good.
really good. But then he goes, "It's a short story." And
He
and
doesn't
He
need to-
doesn't need to be funny.
No.
He just needs to go
He
right
needs to
into
be
the
stoic
story.
and he needs to be
And he just goes into it after 2 or 3 back and forths of like, "Nah, I'm good. I don't need to hear it." Just
So,
just do it.
Let me ask
once.
you a question. I agree. It was funniest the first time. So is the question when making a film in a similar tone, is the question when to cut the bit off and let the bit go, or to really go head first in it? Because, so I agree, like I said, with that situation. But then the other situation where they did something similar is when they're in the thing in between the train cars, and they're just like sort of sighing back and forth. You remember that? It was like, it's Brad Pitt and someone else, and then they just
they're
cut
like-
reverse shot.
Oh yeah.
Reverse shot. So it's like, how do you know?
I think that
You know what
just
I mean?
works better for those two guys that they're
They've already had this weird like.
I
Like
think
a stoic elderly Japanese man that
Yeah.
was in the mafia should not be making a joke.
Yeah.
so I think it's less about the bit,
So it's treating
itself.
the characters and
Yeah.
less just
Yes.
the actual joke.
right?
Yeah.
Set up the rules of the characters
Yeah.
better, and then the
Yeah.
bit can be
Yeah, that
even
worked
funnier.
because it was two guys going like,
Got a pickle here.
"Yeah, we gotta do something."
Yeah.
You know.
That I've already previously been making jokes while they're fighting.
Yeah.
And then, stopping mid fight. And
Right.
I'll tell you this though. The same thing happened. I told you guys the same thing after I saw Uncharted. Trailers are using different cuts in the movies than what we see in the movies.
Sometimes,
which I'm
yeah.
super into
Yeah,
lately.
Like what?
Well, the initial Bad Bunny fight with Brad Pitt was alternative takes, because he doesn't say "I don't even know you" while they're like fighting each other right there. He says it like while they're like, and then in the trailer, Bad Bunny's like, "I'm gonna ruin your life like you ruined mine." And he's like, "Well," so he doesn't say that in the movie, and
Yeah, he does.
not in that same like shot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and so it's like, oh, that's interesting. And then there's another one that I was reminded of right when we were talking about it, but I can't remember. But yeah, super into that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a number of filmmakers that intentionally do that. Like
PT.
Paul Thomas Anderson puts a lot of stuff in his trailers that's not even in the movie.
JJ as well.
Yeah.
Usually does. Or tries to throw you off with the trailer.
Right.
You know, yeah. Anyway.
So
It
yeah,
is
that's
refreshing. It's nice.
good. Yeah, I just felt like they could have toned down some of the quippy, snarky stuff.
Or toned it up and just make it more funny.
Yeah. I feel like
They just need dynamics.
they
They
had-
need some characters that
they
weren't
had
doing
some funny stuff in it, but I don't feel like they had. Some of it was too like, I thought it was interesting that the Channing Tatum bit, the joke is he's gay.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's another reason why it made me feel like a movie from 10, 15 years ago. Is like, remember when the joke in a movie was a character was gay?
it. Yeah.
Like, that's not really a joke anymore
Sure.
that people do.
Yeah. And they doubled down on it too.
Yes.
Like 3 times.
Yeah.
Triple,
Like,
triple down on it. Yeah.
he's got a good walk. Like,
Yeah.
and it was funny in the movie, and it wasn't like trying to be demeaning or anything, but
Yeah.
that was the joke. That is like, oh, it's Channing Tatum, and he's wanting to do weird sex stuff.
With Taylor
Anybody.
Johnson.
Yeah.
Whatever.
And Brad Pitt.
I mean,
Who wouldn't?
right. Exactly. So.
But yeah, I thought the strength of the movie was Brian's character and Brad's character.
In this scenario, Brad Pitt can't help but get to you. He really needs to
But
get.
I like resist at first, but yeah, yeah, I agree. Thought that I was gonna say off the heels of seeing Nope the second time, just like I cared immediately more for Brian and Taylor's characters more than I ever cared about anyone in Nope.
Yeah.
For the entire film.
Yeah,
you know
for
what I mean?
sure.
Because like when that in that death sequence, I'm like, man,
Yeah,
Initially,
for sure.
I didn't
Really-
like them.
Agreed.
I didn't
Yes.
like. I didn't like the flashback of the deaths and everything. You didn't need that. It was just completely unnecessary.
Again, I think it was just too long.
Yeah.
I think you can do it. It's just too long.
the second he started doing the Thomas the Tank Engine thing, I was like, okay, that's interesting.
Yeah.
I like that.
yeah. There's more here than just quippy
Yeah.
brother like put down you
Yeah.
thing. The second that they brought depth into it, that's when I was like, dang. And then the death scene, I was like, oh,
The 2 bits I hated the
sucks.
most. I thought Joey King was terrible.
who's that?
The
Oh,
daughter
yes.
girl.
She was not good.
I
she
think
was-
she's bad in everything.
Yeah.
Honestly. Everything everywhere. All at once, really. She's terrible.
And then the poisoner chick. The end of every single one of her dialogue lines was
Zazie?
bitch. Yeah,
Yeah.
was bitch.
Yeah.
And it was like, no, there's a character in Rick and Morty in one episode where that's the bit about that character. Is he says that at the end of every line. And it worked in something like Rick and Morty because Rick and Morty is so absurd and so ridiculous and it's making fun of stuff all the time. This felt cartoonish in a way that didn't work to me. And
I thought it was funny.
the payoff of it I also didn't think worked. Like Brad Pitt saying karma's a bitch. Like, it's like, I don't know. That felt, I don't know. It didn't work for me like at all and was annoying. But those are the 2 things I disliked the most. And then the flashback thing at the beginning with those guys. Those were the things that made it feel like obnoxious. Where I was like, ugh, I don't like. It felt like it was trying to be quirky and clever. It's like, oh, she says the B word at the end of every line.
Yeah.
I just think the last 10 minutes were.
Yeah, the
Not
last
good.
It was a pretty rough. The
Landing.
Yeah.
yeah, the train
Oh.
crashes, which it doesn't need to do.
Yeah,
And
I agree.
You already have a big ending.
Yeah.
Like with the fight, you don't need to crash the train.
It just felt like it ended a couple times.
Yeah.
And then it kind of kept going. The whole bit with him and Sandra Bullock at the end was like so long
Yeah.
and not good.
And the CG wasn't good either.
No.
That was a big part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Mid-credit sequence is apparently integral to the story, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you find out Brian's character
And maybe
doesn't
more.
Love
die.
that. I love that.
You might
And
find
then-
out more. We left. So
Yeah.
Runs
true.
over Joey King's character.
Joey.
Joey,
Right.
sorry. Runs her over.
Chandler. Phoebe.
Yeah, they're all in there at some point.
So yeah, there was some fun stuff in it and some jokes that worked well. I thought the payoff of the Thomas the Tank Engine stuff was good with
That
Brad
was
Pitt.
so great.
He was like, "You've been talking about trains this whole time."
I had thought about it a number of times, like that connection that that he's on a train and
Right.
it's eventually going to come up.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's
when he comes in there and he's trying to drive the
It's like,
train.
none of the episodes were on Japanese.
Yeah.
And then, yeah.
So there was some stuff in it that was like really good.
Certainly a mixed bag. I
Yeah.
think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you recommend it?
You go ahead.
No circumstances whatsoever. You don't necessarily have a subscription to anything.
You have to pay for your ticket? No.
Okay.
I would not pay
You're
to go
just
see
a
it.
person that is considering going to the theater.
Right now.
Yeah.
Today.
Yeah.
I think I probably would.
Wes is no.
I would say
I'd say probably not.
I would say it's not worth paying for.
Yeah.
If you have a subscription, just know it's a dumb,
Yeah.
silly movie. It's
Yeah.
not.
Yeah, and John Wick's like dumb and silly in a different way. That's more respectable somehow.
John
I
Wick
don't know.
is straight faced.
Yeah.
John Wick is like Fat Man. Like
Sure.
the joke is how serious it is
Yeah.
and how absurd the stuff happening is.
Yeah.
But it takes it very seriously.
Sure.
This doesn't really take itself seriously, but then does too much in other ways.
Yeah. I'll say one of my favorite character traits is Michael Shannon's like Russian roulette thing. That is so freaking bad, eh?
It's pretty cool.
That is awesome. That's so cool because he does it right at the very beginning before he kills the dude at all. He like just walking up and he's like, but like, dude, that's so cool. That was an awesome like villain
Yeah.
like trait because it's like, oh, he can just kill himself at any point. When has that ever been a thought in a movie? You know what I mean?
Two-Face does it.
Yeah, he flips the coin.
Oh yeah, I guess that's true.
That's kind of his thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think it's really cool. I thought it was cool. For sure.
The first shot of him doing it in the rain is so cool. I mean, it's in the trailer, but yeah, when
Yeah.
the camera just like it's raining.
Yeah.
It was really cool. But yeah,
I didn't love the way it was shot. There were some bits that I thought were good, and some were like, not great special effect, like CGI.
Mm-hmm.
Like some blood CGI that wasn't great.
Yeah.
I thought the best action sequence was the fight between Brad and Brian in their seats, trying to be somewhat quiet.
Yeah.
That was very John Wicky kind of feel.
John
but
Wiki.
a little bit sillier. I thought that was good. The other action sequences, not super memorable, but yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
Bullet Train. There you have it.
Bullet Train, there you have it.
you have Bullet Train there, have you?
This has been This Podcast Is Not For You. My name is Wesley.
My name is Jacob.
And my name is Lemon.
Hey yo, lemon meringue.